Or loads of you are getting in touch. Let's take the first one. Ellis, Liverpool fan, hopefully. Ellis, what is it you want to say?
Yeah, it was just in relation to your comment about should fans care about the cost of a player? I believe we should. Me and my friend, we do our own kind of little thing on Facebook called Fans United, and we've had this discussion ourselves in relation to the game becoming a rich person's sport.
Yeah.
And I think the more the prices are driven up by players and wages, that impacts us. You know, I'm a Liverpool fan. I can't get to games, as freely as I would like to, but the cost of the tickets are so expensive. And then on top of that, you're fleeced in the ground by the food and then the shop. Shirts are becoming more expensive. I think I've seen one shirt for £120 because it was a game day replica. Like, who's affording that?
It's crazy.
It's absolutely mental.
No, you're right. And not only that, you get a new shirt every single season. Like every single season, there's a new shirt, and they get a fancy model to show the shirt off, and it's a home shirt, away shirt, training kit, third kit. Yeah. It's a disgrace, isn't it? So you're right. And eventually, we have to pay for it. I mean, you can't go to a Premier League game now without spending over £100. You'll be lucky if you can get a ticket for £100 some of these games. It's embarrassing.
No, it has gone. It has gone that way.
It has, and you know who I feel sorry for? It's the kids.
Yeah.
When I was a little bit younger, my dad was able to take me to games when, cost of living crisis was still a thing, but, it didn't impact us the way it does today. My little boy, who's 4, I mean, me taking him to a Liverpool game regularly is it's impossible unless I'm earning, thousands and thousands of pounds a month, which I'm not,
No, you are right. And honestly, great call, Ellis, because you're right, because we as fans, we do. But you've spoken about this a lot, haven't you, Rory, about sort of just the cost. I mean, Chelsea have got this fancy new seating area, which is ridiculous, isn't it?
Well, what they've done is it's not only a fancy new seating area, it's the same seating area. They haven't done anything different to it. They've just marketed it as being a corporate area now. So they've just changed an area of the ground, which used to be called the West Stand Upper. It's now called West View. And it's now worth thousands of pounds. Like they've managed to just increase the price to anything like beyond recognition, simply to sit in exactly the same seat. You could have sat there for 2 decades. You could have had that season ticket. It's suddenly changed. Your ticket is now gone up in value by about 4 times. It's shambolic, and it's a very good point there from Ellis, because football has become unrecognisable. My only counter to what we were discussing about players, the cost of players and the salaries involved with the players, I don't know how relevant that is to our tickets, because I think that these clubs, they can afford the players and they can afford the wages. The tickets that we pay are almost insignificant. Like, the money comes from the huge sponsorship deals and broadcast, the TV rights and whatever.
Like, we're a small
we're a tiny
percentage, but we're still a percentage anyway. Let's welcome in Reese, West Ham fan. Reese, look, I guess this conversation stemmed from your player, Declan Rice. Do you care the amount you get for a player or the amount that you pay for a player?
I care about how much we pay for a player, but in finer details, I care more about how much we're going to get for someone who is, let's have it right, he's our best player.
Yeah.
And the value, the thing that prompted my call was, you said Declan Rice ain't worth 100 million, and then your next comment was
the English tax.
The English tax is 60 million. So that means you're telling me Declan Rice is worth 40 mil.
No, I said the English tax is 40 mil. I think he's worth 60. I think you know what it is. I think he's around 60.
But then what else prompted my call was Jude Bellingham has just gone to Real Madrid for what, 100 plus?
89.
Hasn't stepped foot on a Premier League pitch in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Not worth.
We've seen him in the Champions League. We've seen him in the Champions League, and he's done it in the Champions League. And we saw him as well, didn't we? World Cup looked really good next to Declan.
We saw Jadon Sancho in the Champions League. What happened to him when he went Man United?
Agreed. I think and that's the point. English tax. That's exactly my point. He's come over for big money, and he's not worth it.
And I think that Declan Rice will go to Arsenal, and he will set the world alight. Listen. I don't want him to go to Arsenal because I don't think he'll win anything there. Do you know what I mean? I'd rather him go to City and win trophies because that's the way I look at him as a player. When I see him lift that trophy the other night, Jesus wept. Do you know what I mean?
Do you wish him well, Reece? Do you want him to succeed? Do you wish him well?
If he goes Man City, yeah. If he goes
don't
to
say that.
It's going to leave a bit of a sour taste. Listen, I'd rather see him in England than in Bayern Munich doing like average stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, winning a trophy every week when literally they give away trophies every week to Bayern Munich. You watch him week in, week out more than obviously what we do. How good is he then? Because I have to admit, I don't watch him as much as you do. I watch glimpses of him, and I compare him to like a Rodri. That's why I say 60 million, because I think of good Rodri. How good is he then?
I think he could go, if Man City lost Rodri tomorrow, made 40 million on him, got 100 million for him, I think he could walk in the team and replace him.
Wow.
That's how good he is. He's unbelievable.
I agree with you, Reece. I agree with every word you said, Reece.
Do you?
Addy, I don't understand. Why are you such a non-conformist as Declan Rice? He's like a £60 million player. He's a phenomenal talent.
Yeah, I think, you know what it is? The problem is, and I can understand what Reece is saying, just because Grealish going for 100, Maguire going for 84, you just mentioned Jadon Sancho going for 75. I get why he thinks he's worth 100 and 120 million. I just think that money's, I think it's ridiculous. Ridiculous fee. Honestly, ridiculous.
Yeah, do you think he's going to go on to be a huge success? Do you anticipate him, leading England, winning more silverware, Reece? Do you think that he's going to be that sort of player?
He will replace Harry Kane as England captain, right? And he's walking all the right footsteps, the same as Bobby Moore did, mate. Honestly,
wow.
He's doing everything right. He's professional. He's an unbelievable pro. I speak to people, right? Where we live, I speak to people, and I DJ at West Ham in some of the corporate areas, right? Every other match game, home game, and I see people that I met his brother in 2016 in one of the lounges, and even his brother will come over, have a chat with him. Listen, we don't know him from Adam. He's just Declan Rice's brother, but even he says he loves the place and he wants to do well here, but he is light years ahead of the rest of our team.
All right, I'll take it back, Reece. I'll take it back. 75 million. That's as high as I'm going. 75 million.